Ever since I was a little kid, I've loved sports. I've loved to play them, I've loved to go to games, I've loved being around them. So naturally, I started to like sports books. When I was around 13, I read a book called Gym Candy, which was a nonfiction book or a fiction book about steroids, but it did spark my interest. Then a few years later, I came across the book, A Game of Shadows, which is a book about the Balco steroid scandal, which is one of the biggest steroid rings ever found in sports. Athletes involved included Barry Bonds and Jason Giambi, two of the biggest MLB stars around that time. Marion Jones, an Olympic sprinter who had set many records, and Bill Romanowski, one of the best linebackers in the NFL. It bothered me to see that some of the all-time greats had cheated their way to the top. It bothered me knowing that one day it'd be my generation trying to cheat their way into the professional sports. Since the Balco bust, countless athletes have been busted for use in sports, ranging anywhere from cycling to the NFL. Pro sports aren't upping suspensions or upping fines in any way. Athletes are given chance after chance to stop using steroids, and many of them don't. All they're getting is a slap on the wrist, and that's not helping them to change their ways. Commissioners aren't asking their athletes to use steroids for a reason. Doctors aren't just handing out steroids, and there's a reason for that. Athletes are capable of doing the same thing with or without steroids. They are capable of being great without the shots. Steroids give a quick boost, and that's what athletes are looking for. But athletes can gain that same ability through hard work and dedication, like so many have. Events would remain just as competitive, if not more competitive, if all athletes were clean. Athletes who use are cheating themselves. And they're cheating the sport that they all love, and they played for the love of the game at one point in time. The problem with steroids is the fact that they are single-handedly destroying sports. Athletes continue abusing steroids and causing other athletes to think that's what they must do. Sporting leagues must completely ban performance-enhancing drugs from sports, with only 3 positive tests before a lifetime ban is handed out. Even though sports were entertaining and many records were set before steroids, some people still think that steroids need something to spice them up. Some people still think sports need something to spice them up. The common belief is steroids aren't a problem. They make sports more fun. Steroids make it entertaining for the fan like you and I. Without steroids, sports wouldn't be nearly as successful or profitable. Every sport has some sort of steroid use. MLB was saved by steroids because of Barry Bonds' 71 home run season. It was saved because of Mark McGwire and Sammy Sosa's home run race. And it was saved by Roger Clemens' 98-mile-per-hour fastball that electrified the sport. Steroids are the only reason that fans come to games. Those on steroids bring the big hits. They bring the speed, they bring home runs, and they bring power. And that's what we want. They bring things that we don't see on a daily basis. We as fans love the big play capability that steroids bring. Steroids may have fueled some very good athletes, but some of the best and the biggest fan favorites have never once used steroids. Adam Dunn, one of the greatest home run hitters of all time, has hit 2 of the top 15 longest home runs ever, one at 504 feet and one at 535 feet. He played 14 seasons and had 462 home runs, and never once tested positive for steroids. Giancarlo Stanton, a center fielder for the Miami Marlins, is one of the biggest names in MLB today. He's played 7 seasons and has more home runs in that time over 490 feet than anybody, according to Baseball Reference. And he has not once tested positive for steroids. Steroids may seem to be helping, but there are plenty of athletes who are capable of doing the same things that those steroid athletes can. Roger Clemens may have had a 98-mile-per-hour fastball, but David Price, a starting pitcher for the Boston Red Sox, has been clocked in at 101 miles per hour as a starting pitcher. And he has never tested positive for steroids in his 9 years in the MLB. Clemens may have made the game interesting with speed, but Price is throwing harder and making more of a statement than Roger Clemens ever did. We must start to see that steroids are just as entertaining with athletes who have never used steroids. Those are the athletes that are making the game fun, and those are the athletes playing for their love of the game. We as fans must start to see that athletes are cheating us. Athletes are cheating the sports that we all love. Athletes are cheating the sports that most of us have played since we were little kids. And athletes are cheating all of their competitors that line up against them. And most importantly, athletes are cheating themselves. Thank you.
What makes the athletes want to use this steroids?
A lot of them, ever since they first got into the MLB, they've been around it, people our age have seen Barry Bonds, one of the best home run hitters, and people like that have used steroids to get to the top, so they see that that can help them. They think it can make them better than what they're capable of.
Are steroids more common in the MLB compared to the NFL?
In the NFL, the testing is more strict, so a lot more people, none of the big name players today in the NFL are really using steroids, but MLB still has some more bigger names because the testing isn't as rigorous yet.
Do the athletes in the MLB get tested all the time?
It just depends. Some athletes don't get tested very often at all, but there are some athletes that do. It depends on performance really in the MLB.
All right, John.